Hello and welcome to the Eskrima podcast. My name is Jason Inayan. I am an Inayan Escrimador, and it's been a while since I've done these. I've been very busy, so today's podcast is just going to be kind of a, what's been going on lately, what have I been doing, why haven't I been doing podcasts, and also just talking about some of the things that we're doing with the Inayan System of Eskrima and the Inayan Training Organization as we get ready for the Mongoose Tesoro Memorial for 2024. I really can't believe that it's been 24 years almost since my father's been has passed away, and at the same time I've felt every single day that he's been gone. But before we get into all of that, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, follow. We have all of these different places for you to interact with us as far as social media is concerned. But the most important for us is for you to, at the very least, engage with us in our community on our own website, and that's the ITO ISC Tribe community. If there isn't yet, there will be a free forum for you to be on. You can interact with us there, ask questions and things like that. It is moderately moderated, and we expect you to, of course, be civil and polite and have the kind of behavior that's exemplary for a martial artist, right? But also, you get the free email lessons every day, at least for the year of 2024. At the beginning of April, it was lesson 100. We're at the end of April almost in terms of our scheduling, and as far as the days are concerned, we're almost at the end of April. So we're close to 129, 130 lessons already for the year. So we're pretty excited about that, and having that be part of the value that I like to offer. The thing is that with all the different titles that are used in Filipino martial arts and martial arts in general, different seminars, like I've taught in Scotland, I've taught in Kuwait, I've taught in Portugal, I've taught in Tokyo, I've taught in Canada, I've taught in Louisiana, I've taught all over the place, and people use all the different kinds of titles. They'll call me sensei, they'll call me professor, they'll call me soke, they'll call me sifu, right, or guru, or coach, or all these different honorifics, which are really nice. People are just trying to show respect. And then, of course, the title that I have after my father's direction, as well as his passing, was to hold the title of Suro, which is the head of the Inayan System of Eskrima. That's the only system of martial arts that my father founded. It means it's the verb, it's an Ilocano verb, to teach, right? But Guru is really one of my most favorite titles, simply because Sensei means the one who knows the way, and Sifu is like stern father, or caring, disciplinary father, if you will, at least the way that I understand its translation. Guru means to uplift, and for me, uplifting, part of that as the head of the Inayan System of Eskrima and the founder of Spyder Dumog system, is to provide value to all the people that have attended my seminars, whether they join our ITO platform even at the Steel membership, which is only $7 a month, right? Or they're just going to engage on social media, but especially for the newsletters, it's just to give value as we go through our white to black sash curriculum and doing technique derivations. It's a lot of fun to do with Patrick, and it's a lot of work. Sometimes I don't get them out on time, just like I don't get all these podcasts on time either. But I wanted to talk to you guys about what have I been doing? Why haven't I been doing podcasts? Because normally I commute to work and I'll do the podcast, and I'll get to share with people what's going on and what we're trying to achieve in terms of the different arts and things like that we're practicing, what we've done in classes. That's normally what I've been doing, but I've been really busy. So I think it's very important for everyone to continue to grow and to learn. And so I took a home study MBA course, and it was basically a reading list, and it was really, really good. It helped me focus myself in terms of all the things that I do with the Inayan Training Organization, which is the organization of people that practice the Inayan methods and ways. It's the only organization that my father founded and I became the head of when he passed away almost 24 years ago. And I decided to do this simply because I subscribe to a bunch of different, newsletters, if you will, that work on different aspects of someone. It's got to be more than just martial arts. In this case, it's business acumen and productivity and things like that. And so I learned a lot about business. I learned a lot about networking, some things about public speaking. It was actually a pretty good resource for public speaking, although I do a lot of that already anyways. And then, of course, working on understanding production and process and flow, and how to improve process, and also how to lead teams and organizations. And it was really, really good, and it's got me really excited as we move forward this year towards the Montessori Memorial in September in Las Vegas. So we're really excited about that. But the whole time I've been keeping up on the training side. The big effort has been making sure that every month we have new content on the platform. That's the Inayan-Eskrima.com. That's where the member site is. And making sure that there's daily email lessons that are recorded, edited, published, and scheduled, so that way everyone gets to do that. And it's funny, over the last week I got super busy and wasn't able to schedule them as much as I like, and I got a number of messages like, hey, what happened to the daily email list? And I said, I promise I'll get it to you by the end of the day, and I did. I had already recorded them, and they just needed to be edited and scheduled, and it was just a little bit busy. My Mondays start off, yesterday was Monday, so Mondays is, you get up in the morning. If I can, I try to do a workout in the morning, and then I'll have to go to work. I have a regular 8-hour job. Then I leave the office to go and ideally stretch and work out a little bit more, and then I usually have a private lesson, and then I have the Spyder Dumog class that evening. We do that one in a traditional uniform, so we can learn how to defend against people grabbing our clothing. But that's that program is essentially Filipino martial arts, including the Inayan System of Eskrima, Southeast Asian martial arts, some Chinese martial arts, and grappling arts, different grappling arts, including Southeast Asian, catch-as-catch-can, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But we use the Inayan method of training throughout that whole program. That program is really, the impetus of that program is really sitting there with my Uncle Dan in Osanto. I'm at one of the instructor camps, and we're doing silat or something like that, and he goes, one of the greatest arts it would be really cool to see, or he says something to the effect of mixing silat and grappling arts and Filipino martial arts together. So I said, oh, that's interesting. That's something different to do, and it offers more value to my students. And then there's some people that just don't want to just do stick fighting. And, for me, it's just a way to expand my horizon, stay true to my Eskrima roots. I don't really believe that I needed any of the things that I learned necessarily. I did gain a little bit of depth in terms of perspective from learning the silat. Although silat is so close to Filipino martial arts, they're practically the same art, right? I know that some of you silat folks out there will be like, no. But, when you first start out, there's so many different kinds of kicks and punches, and you can disarm one way and another, and you can swing your stick this way and sword that way, and eventually it's just a punch is a punch and a kick is a kick. And we start to see all the similarities and how they are really just one huge body of knowledge and skill sets for how the body works under stress, which is really the Inayan study, right? Is the study of the human condition under stress or under combat conditions. So I do that on Mondays. Today is Tuesday. Tuesdays get up. I opted to stretch a little bit and then make sure I got some scheduling done for the daily email lessons. And then I also made sure I did a post to try to get some more subscribers. That's why I need your guys' help in sharing, especially the podcast, because that's free for people. They can, share the channel. We're starting to get into our groove with regards to the podcast and what we talk about and things like that. And then, on Tuesdays, once I finish my regular day job, I have at least one private lesson, usually a personal workout, and then I teach a class of Eskrima, right? Then it's Wednesday. Wednesday's a big day. For me, it's training in the morning in terms of fitness, and then I have 2 private lessons. One of them is 2 hours long, and then this for a gentleman, a doctor who I've been teaching for, it seems like 7 or 8 years now. And it's always a delight to teach him because he wants to learn Eskrima. At first, he just wanted to learn Sarada. Now he wants to learn the entire system of Eskrima, which is always neat to see people kind of grow in their interest, in their fascination, if you can imagine what that's like, right? In training in martial arts and then going, wait, but what about this and what about that? And so I get to teach him for 2 hours, and then after that, I get a little bit of workout and stretch time for myself, right? Thursday comes, and it's another full day. I usually work out in the morning if I can, and then I go do my day job, and then I teach private lessons, sometimes to get a little stretch and work out myself, and then I have an Eskrima class for an hour. Friday is a grappling day. I'll do my full day job. I get to work from home that day, so I definitely go out in the morning and I work out, and I get some time to stretch and take care of my body. And then I usually end up teaching a private lesson at the end of the day, as well as I do a full class as a student most times, but sometimes as the instructor for a grappling only class, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class under Professor Mark Whiteman. So that's a lot of fun. I get to do that. And then Saturday hits. A lot of times, Guru Sherry, who's been a student for so long, she was a student of my father's when I was a baby, essentially, and was a student later on in life under my father in the late 90s into 2000 when my father passed away. And then when my father passed away, as many of his most active and most loyal students had decided to come train with me, because that's what he requested. He'd asked that people support me in taking over the system. But usually I get to teach her a private lesson on Saturday mornings. If she's in town, she lives in Lake Tahoe, so it's a little bit of a drive for her, but I see her often. And then it's an Eskrima class. And then after that is a Spyder Dumog class, and we do that class usually no gi at that time, or no traditional uniform, and we're incorporating, a lot of times the Saturday is the one where I incorporate the use of the knife and the stick in situations that may or may not end up in grappling, how to prevent that from happening, etc. And then I have a lesson for myself on Saturday. I learn from my teacher Anta, who's teaching me a Maranao, which is a southern part of the Philippines, form of Filipino martial arts. Might be called a Kali in some circles, but it's a Moro or Muslim form of Filipino martial arts, which he calls Navadisha, Asika na Punya. So I get to learn that. I've been learning that for, maybe 3 or 4 years now. So that's super fun because I get to engage in my ethnic culture and heritage, but in something that's really rare and uncommon to find. And he is an amazing instructor on that. And that's my week. And all that time, I'm making sure that every day, almost every day, at least 4 times a week, we're filming daily email lessons. And then on Sunday is filming day. Most days we get to do this. Patrick and I get together and we make sure that we film some curriculum. So we got some exciting things coming up because we got a new filming schedule. We're going to have a new social media push to get more people involved in the Inayan training organization, more people training in the Inayan System of Eskrima, and spreading the Filipino martial culture, especially the Inayan System of Eskrima. So that's what I've been up to. What have you guys been up to? Have you been training? Those of you who are on the email list and are getting those daily lessons, I get a lot of emails, but I'm curious for some of the people I haven't heard from. What is it like? How do you like it? Do you hate it? Is there something that you want to see? I haven't done a lot of double stick in there, but I've done quite a bit of single stick, a lot of empty hand, some knife work, etc. And it's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to the rest of the year. Our plan is to do this all the way to December 31st, a daily lesson every day, so that everyone gets to have an experience with what it means to training the Inayan System of Eskrima, my teaching style and method, and it's a great value add for all of my members that are already on the platform, because it gives them a little bit deeper glimpse beyond the vanilla curriculum that's in the Inayan System of Eskrima. And by no means do I mean it's plain, but like the standard curriculum, right? So it's been pretty exciting. The last master class that we did was a Dumog master class. And then I had a lot of help from Lahon Guru Chris Castle, who's been my student for like 23 years or something crazy like that. So he's been around for quite a while, and he decided to help and start editing video for us, so that way I could accelerate my efforts on other fronts. So he edited the last masterclass, the Dumog masterclass. It's on the member platform. Masterclasses are for the Steel membership, so it's only $7 a month. You get the curriculum as we put it up monthly. We keep getting new curriculum through there. We had our friend Brandon Simmons. He was asking, do I have everything? I said, yeah, we're updating curriculum on a monthly basis, so that you have fresh content every month, which includes a masterclass every month. And this one was on Dumog. Now, Dumog, if you don't know what that is, it's present in almost all Filipino martial arts, or at least it used to be. That's the grappling, locking, disarming, throwing, and breaking techniques of Filipino martial arts. Sometimes that's called Daeshon, sometimes it's called Leog, sometimes it's called Lumid, sometimes it's called Buno. There's all different kinds of names for grappling in Filipino martial arts, because the truth is that prior to the Spanish coming to the Philippines, there were just a bunch of different tribes, different people. You know, it's funny, Native American culture is such that most cultures, they don't name themselves. So that was usually like, you got your name from the tribe on the other side of the river. And it might be something as the people over on the other side of the river, but when you make it in the native language, it sounds something different, right? In the same sense, the Philippines and Filipinos is currently named after King Philip, who at the time was a prince, right? And before that, it was called by the Spanish Los Islos de los Pintados, which is the island of the painted people, because Filipinos traditionally are tattooed from head to toe, right? And so all different kinds of cultures, and therefore all different kinds of languages. Today they'll say that, you know, Tagalog is the main tongue and all the other languages are dialects, but that's a political designation, not a linguist's designation. A linguist, right, would say that it's several major tongues that are prevalent, and there are many sub-dialects and dialects within the archipelago known as the Philippines, right, which has approximately 1,500 or so habitable islands, although the total islands and islets is about 7,000 islands, right? So therefore, lots of different languages, lots of different food, lots of different naming conventions. Thus, like, you know, you'll hear titles like Tuhan, you'll hear titles like Guru, you'll hear titles like Datu. Datu is an honorific that given by mostly by Ernesto Presas, right, to some of his top most loyal students, right? So you hear a lot of different names that are used by different instructors, different organizations, which is their choice, right? Such as Suro, which is actually it's Menor Suro is the actual Ilocano term for teacher, as opposed to Guro or Titsir, which are very common names or words used in the Philippines for teacher, right? But I got off on a tangent. We've been doing that Dumog program, or rather we've been doing the Dumog this month as part of the masterclass. And it was a lot of fun. We worked on joint locking, lots of shoulders and joint locks. There's 4 standard lock flows that my father taught. These are locks and reversals and escapes exercises that we teach in the Inayan System of Eskrima as part of the Inayan Kadena de Mano style, which is our empty hand, grappling, and knife style for Filipino martial arts in the Inayan System of Eskrima. But there are 4 lock flows, and the first one has like 7 or 8 locks in it already at once. And that's what we've been covering, incidentally, piecemeal on the daily email lessons, right? So learning how to lock the shoulder several different ways with different grips, lock the wrist only once there, lock the elbow one different way. There's a throw, if you will, or a takedown, and it's mixed together. So we brought that out in the master class for this April. And the thing that we worked on in addition to that is how locking in Filipino martial arts isn't meant necessarily for takedowns. It's really meant for breaking, right? And that the same skill set that we use for locking and for breaking is the same skill set, that we would use for doing disarms, right? And I think I might have touched upon the same principles that we use to block and parry and evade different kinds of attacks is used, at least on a theoretical level, to defend against locking and disarming. So that was our master class, and we worked on that this month as well, and that was quite a bit of work in terms of doing the lesson plan, and then also, making sure that it was edited, which is mostly done by Lahong Guru Chris Castle. So big thank you to him for helping us do that. And then also, of course, we moved on to regular classes doing disarms. Lately, we've been cycling between having a stick day, a knife day, and an empty hand day. So that way we cover as much of the curriculum as possible. It's difficult. The Inayan System of Eskrima is pretty expansive. Like the Inayan Eskrima is a close quarters, short sword, or medium-sized stick, medium length stick style. You can use, there are largo techniques, long range techniques, and usually Sirada is presented as a medium range style. The Inayan version of Sirada is highly focused on power blows and how to defend against them. So that requires a very specific body articulation and a very specific way of stepping and catching. You can't just willy-nilly put your hands and your stick in the way of your opponents against a power blow. The way that my father, Monkey Sosuro, taught the system in general, and Sirada specifically, was from the idea of, like, imagine if you were in World War II and the enemy, the Japanese, Imperial Japanese soldiers who were on the side of the Nazis, Germany, during that time. So we would call the Axis versus the Allies, or the Axis forces, right? They were armed with katana, so a Japanese sword, and they committed a lot of atrocities during the March of Bataan, which is the Holocaust of Southeast Asia during World War II, and hundreds of thousands, if not more. I don't know what the numbers are for the March of Bataan, but it was very severe. I understand. There's even a memorial for that in California, here in Salinas, where they taught. It's near a fort that the Philippine infantry were trained in and deployed out of. But my father would go, imagine if you were in that war and you were fighting on the side of the Philippine infantry, which was a U.S. military unit, armed with a bolo, a Filipino sword, to fight against the Japanese to liberate the homeland, right? And that person's trying to cut with a katana, two-handed, all the way through you. And now, if you've looked at Japanese sword work and practice it, which I have, I've learned a little bit of that in my association with some great martial artists out of the Kilahana Martial Arts Association, specifically Shihon Richard Bertrelli and Professor Mike Melzadeh. But great arts, and the cuts are powerful and strong, and it gave me a look on the other side of that, right? But imagine they're doing a kesa cut, which is the first cut, what we would call an angle 1, right? And that blade's going to cut fully through your torso if you don't stop it. And so, when you put something in the way, just because you put something in the way doesn't mean that you have the leverage to be able to stop it. That's going to require a particular structure, a particular catch, a catch in terms of where you catch the opponent on their body or arm or hand, and where your blade or your stick or whatever it is, in this case a blade, intersects with that opponent's weapon or tool. So Inayan Sarada is a little bit more specific in those things, and known for power hitting in many circles. Not all, not everyone knows about Inayan, but those that do know that it's, at least the Sarada is about power hitting. The truth is the whole system is about power and speed. People see the power because it's the most evident of the facets of Inayan Eskrima in general. And so we have De Cuerdas, which is a medium range, medium sword, medium stick, or short sword, and that's a medium to long range more so. There is close quarters for that one, but it's more medium to long versus Sarada's medium to close quarters. And De Cuerdas is more of a flanking style as opposed to Sarada's directly confrontational closing methods, right? And then we have Largamano. Largamano is this elusive method that stays at the edge of the opponent or just out of the opponent's reach, so that they can eliminate the opponent's ability to counterattack and also eventually, defend against and eliminate the opponent, right? That was taught to my father by Grandmaster Emeritus Leo Heron, who was in the Philippine Infantry and fought in World War II and learned his Cinco Terros Largamano style while he was in the Philippines, learning from his officers when he fought in the Philippines against the Japanese. And so that's our Largamano style. And then we have Cadena de Mano, which is an empty hand knife and grappling and short, or I should say long knife style. Although the long knife version was not really taught to anybody. But that particular method and style is taught to my father by Great Grandmaster Max Fermento, who was known for his ability to eliminate people with knives. He is said to have been in over 300 altercations. 200 of them involved a knife, and no visible scarring or disfigurement was noted by any of his students that I've had the chance to talk to about that. So that style is a different style. And then you have your Sinawali, which is our double stick or double sword style, which focuses on turning our opponent through better footwork and positioning, as well as overwhelming our opponent. And then we have Espada y Daga, which is a sword and dagger style. Then we have the Sibat Bangkao, which is staff and spears style. So there's a lot of different pieces of curriculum, and so finding a way to teach all those things at an appropriate time is one of the things that the gurus have a hard time with. I have a hard time with because we have our favorites. Some gurus, they gravitate towards Sarada, others Largamano, others Cadena de Mano. Guru Lauren, who's been my student for just over 19 years now, has he came to me as an accomplished martial artist, having competed in competitive Taekwondo at San Jose State, and then learning advanced training under Bender for Wing Chun here in the Bay Area, and then having at the time a Contraprofessor title in Capoeira, which is an instructor's title. And now he's been elevated to, I guess what's a second degree master instructor in Capoeira. So he likes the Sikra, he likes the kicking. He loves the Sarada and the Cadena de Mano as well. But we all have the things that we're working on or we're thinking about. And then so we've been cycling between, okay, today is a stick day. Whatever you're going to teach, it's going to be a stick. It could be double stick or single stick. And that also includes the bolo or the blade, right? And then the next day we'll do a dagger day. And then the following day we'll do an empty hand day. And we alternate on the Tuesday and Thursday classes that way. And then also on Saturdays we kind of just do a full bore class. And we do all the different things on the Saturday class. So that's what we've been up to, what I've been up to all this time. I'm going to try to do a little bit better, but at least doing a weekly podcast for you guys. I hope to see you guys in the future. I'll see you on the training floor.